I thought rather that 2018 when we started Superkicks that we rather pivot towards telling people, hey, you like sneakers, I get it, but let me narrate why you should like it even more.
Where did this idea of enter Superkicks come in?
My father and my family, we've always been into the footwear industry. It's been about 25 years.
I still remember the first 2 years of Superkicks. The team was really, really small. So I was handling the posting of every shoe. Instagram DMs was all under me.
I know as compared to the entire population of India, probably our TAM for Superkicks would be hardly 5% of the entire population of India. But the 5% of India is like 40% of US in terms of number of people.
The one sneaker that defines your personal style, both of you?
I like this silhouette from Nike called Cortez. I love that silhouette and it's so versatile.
I'm more of the Adidas guy, so for me it's Adidas Samba right now.
If somebody is planning to start now, what would your advice be to them? When you think of sneakers in India today, you can't miss Superkicks. Founded by Nisha Lulla and Sangeet Paryani, Superkicks has become one of the most recognizable names in India's sneaker and streetwear culture. From curating global drops to building a strong community around style and self-expression, they have been at the forefront of making sneakers not just fashion, but a lifestyle. This conversation is for anyone curious about how subcultures become mainstream, how brands are built from passion, and what the future of fashion and retail in India really looks like. Thank you so much, Nisha and Sangeet, coming to my show. I really appreciate it. And this is the most interesting topic because I'm a retail by heart and by background. So it's super exciting to have Superkicks founders at the show.
Likewise, we are very, very excited to be a part of the show and hopefully we get to answer a lot of interesting questions.
Yes.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for inviting us. In fact, as much as you would ask us questions, we would also love to know a lot about how you started things.
Absolutely.
And how retail worked out for you. I'm here to learn as much as you would probably, how much ever you can learn from us.
No, it'll be fun. Yeah, we should make it interactive.
Yeah.
And so whilst I was talking to you and I realized that you were the choreographer and Sangeet was dancing to your tunes. So from that whole dance and, coming together, where did this idea of enter Superkicks come in? So I want to go back to the roots that where, and I was listening to you that you have a family of, distribution and franchise in India.
Yes.
So where does the whole germ come in, Sangeet?
Actually, yeah, my father and my family, we've always been into the footwear industry. It's been about 25 years my father has been in the footwear industry. We were living in Lagos, Nigeria. In fact, I was born there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we shifted back in 1996 back to my dad's hometown, which is Jaipur. And that was also an interesting story. Actually, we didn't shift, we fled from there because the violence out there went a little too much for my dad to handle.
And you were born there, so you all were there, right?
Yeah, I was born there. My elder brother was born in Jaipur, but I was born there. And Lagos at that point in time was a tumultuous period at that point in time. So we decided as a family together, or rather my dad decided to shift back to Jaipur. And then he had to start something from scratch. He had an import-export business there. Yeah. So in 1996, I think he was at the right place at the right time. And I believe Woodland was the first brand that approached him for distribution for Rajasthan.
True.
And then he started distribution with Woodland shoes. And then other brands also followed. And the second brand, I think, was Adidas itself.
Yeah.
They approached my dad to start distributing Adidas. And I think over the years, he moved from distribution to also retail. So he also started doing mono brands, and my brother joined him, and then they expanded the retail EBOs of franchise for Adidas.
In Rajasthan?
In Rajasthan.
All
across Rajasthan. And I, on the other hand, was destined to do something else completely.
You're a designer by background. You're
Yeah.
working with agency, creative side, more
Yeah.
right brain.
I was in Bombay when I met Nisha as well. We were in the same college, and we've been dating. We were dating for like 7 years before we got married.
Yeah.
And after college, I joined Maika Mudra Institute. I did my MBA from there.
Oh, okay.
Then came back to Bombay. I wanted Bombay, obviously, because I wanted to come back to Nisha.
You've been dancing, huh? You've choreographed well.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
He's got a name called Sangeet.
Sangeet also, exactly. I used to choreograph Sangeet. So it was meant to
much
be.
literally and figuratively choreographing me. No, so I ended up coming back to Bombay, worked in a design agency called DY Works for like good 2 years. But I always wanted to be a screenplay writer. That not a lot of people know about it. I quit DY Works to pursue screenplay writing.
Interesting.
In fact, I joined a course at Whistling Woods and understood how to write. And then after that, did an apprenticeship with a couple of directors and wrote a couple of scripts, in fact, full bound scripts. Pitched it to a bunch of production houses. That it reached there, and I think I couldn't handle rejection at that point in time. I'm a little khuddar that way. Plus, they say is right about the industry. You need to have a lot of patience, and I didn't have any kind of patience at that point. In
Or
time.
you are a N boy, Nepo boy.
Yeah, exactly. So, unless you're a Nepo boy, you need to have a lot of patience, and I didn't have whatsoever.
I think you did.
I don't know. I at least how much you're supposed to have, I didn't have. And then I was like, okay, chuck it. Let me go back and join my dad's business.
वही जूते बेचो.
वही जूते बेचो. And I think when I joined my dad's business, probably within a year, I understood this is not my cup of tea. And so and by then Nisha and I got married. She also shifted to Jaipur after the marriage. This was back in 2016.
16, yes.
Nisha would help me build this one deck that we were trying to pitch about starting a sneaker store. When I was confident enough, I showed it to my father first that, hey, this is what I want to do. What my father helped the most with the entire Superkicks planning was opening doors for me. Obviously, he had the biggest connect with every sneaker or footwear brand out there in India, except probably Nike. He didn't have any relationship with Nike though. And in fact, that was the toughest for me to sign on board.
Yeah.
But Adidas was the first one who we pitched. The MD then loved it. Loved the idea. At that point in time, there was only one sneaker store in India, which was Veg Non-Veg.
Veg, non-veg.
The sneaker store is called Veg Non-Veg. They were the first ones to open in India, first starting with Delhi.
Yeah. Okay. We were the first in Bombay.
Yeah.
But in India, in Delhi, they were the first.
They were the first ones.
But what got you, Nisha, excited? So did you find that, okay, I mean, he's getting excited, but this is very wacky and what are you going to do? Somebody who's choreographing and so busy.
So
what got you excited?
It was firstly, I was not as much as into sneakers as much he was. Like even as a kid, he's been around sneakers.
Correct.
For me, shoes were rather more about comfort and dance related. Like it had to be functional. Yeah.
Correct.
So it was never about style. For me, like I never imagined I'll dress up in sneakers like every day of my life. So when this concept happened for me, I was not looking into what kind of shoes should come or anything. That was his department. For me, it was making this brand known to at least the people in Bombay. So that was my aim. So when we started, I think the first opening was half.
But you were sold on the idea.
I was sold on the idea. It was super interesting to see. Firstly, so I have to tell this story.
Please, go ahead.
So when we were dating and his dad had the Adidas franchise, right? I was not allowed to wear any other brand except Adidas, even though we were dating. So the exciting part once Superkicks started was like, oh, I get to wear each and every brand now. There is no restriction on, I cannot wear Nike, because Nike
was your favorite.
Yeah, was my favorite at that point of time. Now it doesn't matter. Like I think all the
Now you're
brands.
talking like a co-founder.
You're being diplomatic now.
No, but it's true. Like
The
first
brand has trained you well.
brand has trained me very well. But yeah, so because as I said, I started choreographing at a very young age, at the age of 19, and my aim was to be independent at the age of 21.
Wow.
And not ask money from my parents. So it just kept driving me to keep doing something that I've always loved dancing, because my mom has been a good choreographer and my sister is a good dancer
Oh,
too,
lovely.
and into choreography even now. So it was just easy for me to take this up, but it was a struggle to convince my parents that this is going to be my career, and not just a hobby. That is, I'm talking when I was 19, like in 2000, like 2010s.
But what I want to get at, so now that you got this idea, and because it was a super cool idea, and because you were saying, I want that shoe in my store,
Yeah.
but did you see any consumer behavior? Because 2018, 16, 17, 18 when it
18,
started, because sneakers in India is still, it's niche.
Yeah.
Because I know that for my son, every time he wanted those Jordans, I've been to the Jordan store in Japan or Seoul, because those are the exclusive
Yeah.
and amazing large stores. Or the Dubai also, I think the Nike and now it is together. It is
Yeah.
not separate as
Now
Jordan.
there is. Now there's a Jordan store in Dubai.
They have,
There
but
is.
what I saw in Japan was beautiful, big one. Seoul again, beautiful. So that kind of, like you're saying, that exclusive thing which has started now. A couple of from past 2-3 years, you are listening to all these streetwear sneakers and people doing. But back then, when you had that idea and you wanted, did you see any consumer trend changing and people wanting?
Yeah.
Or it was just that because you knew you all were in the business and you could make
No,
it?
of course. We were in the business, sort of gave us the massive advantage of knowing what we are doing. So basically, we knew retail really well as a family. We knew our products really well as a family. But
But that was Rajasthan. You decided to do it in
yeah,
Bombay.
yeah. So and that's why Nisha was very helpful to sort of garner the kind of initial buzz for the brand. I think it's all thanks to Nisha at that point in time, what she ended up doing, getting the right kind of people. But coming back to the point here, we saw a trend that before we open up in 2018, there were a couple of interesting exclusive sneaker launches that Adidas had done in the Mumbai Linking Road store.
Yeah.
That was back in 2017. That was the first time Yeezy, which is a line that Kanye West made with Adidas, was launched in India for the first time.
And all these Gen Zs love it.
Yeah,
oh my God, my son talks about it.
So 2017, for the first time, they had launched the Yeezy at their Adidas store on Linking Road.
Yes.
And for the first time, we saw a phenomenon happening in India, which we have heard a lot happening outside of India, which is lining up for the shoe outside a store.
Yes.
That was seen for the first time in 2017 at the Adidas store. So that was quite encouraging. We knew there were pockets of community and Discord groups and here and there where people were exchanging ideas and information on what is the cool sneaker that they bought recently.
It's a statement.
So there were pockets here and there. There was definitely a sneaker affinity at that point in time that was brewing up in 2018. But not necessarily according to me, and I'm a little purist here, but not necessarily according to me for the relevant reason they were brewing up. They were brewing up purely because hey, it's cool, it's trendy, and that's why I need
social
it.
And get the
FOMO and also flexing. These were the motivations for them to sort of get into sneakers. While the purists like me, we got into sneakers because we had a story attached to it. There was Michael Jordan, who we used to look up to. There was Run DMC, which is a hip hop band in the US who we used to listen to, who had a very big sneaker connection with Adidas. And that's how people like me entered into sneakers. And so I thought rather that 2018, when we started Superkicks, that we rather pivot towards telling people, hey, you like sneakers, I get it, but let me narrate why you should like it even more. There's a story to every sneaker. And we were and through those stories and through those culture cues, we wanted to sort of push the culture to the community at that point in time. So we took a route of telling, sneaker culture is not a culture on its own. It's a subset of many cultures like basketball culture, skateboarding culture,
Correct,
hip hop,
correct.
music.
Some sport music,
Yeah. So
yeah.
these cultures sort of gave birth to a sneaker culture in amalgamation. So we went back to the basics, and we started talking about the other cultures like basketball culture, and skateboarding culture. We did an activation with the skateboarding group of Bombay.
Yeah.
We did a 3v3 basketball activation. We did a hip hop music. What was
We had a
these?
rap battle in
We had a rap battle in our store.
So this is in our first year itself. Like it was a small store, but we kept having a lot of events. We kept celebrating shoes as well. So we had like an Air Force One week, a Jordan week, where people would just come and get specific Jordans. Or that time Jordan used to be on the shelf and not get sold out, because not as you said, not everyone knew about
Correct.
the kind of shoes that are famous outside of India.
Or if they're over, I don't know if it gets very expensive over here. I think
No,
Not really.
Not really. Yeah.
Well, probably hardly 1,000, 2,000 rupees
Okay.
price difference.
So that was not
The other problem is range. At least what I always felt, that you don't get the variety that you get outside,
So
right?
For the longest period of time, that was not the case.
So I was.
That's
I
what we
think-
wanted to change.
Yeah, we wanted to
Correct.
change that, and the first step was to open a store like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And then today, if you come to our store, you will find a lot of variety, and not just for men, even for women. So when we started, it was very difficult to get women's sizing in India.
Correct. Yeah,
Like
that's-
In those sneakers.
in those
Yeah, in
sneakers
those
that I
sneakers.
also wanted. So like I kept like nagging him, like, why is this not coming, this has to
Correct.
come. But we had to show numbers, we had to show, okay, there is demand,
Yes, you had to create that,
create
means the
that.
demand and the awareness. So I love this idea of story. I love your purist, because I like people who are purist, because you were not looking for fad. People who just once in a way bought it just to show it on social. You were really looking at people who are loyal, because you're looking at creating a tribe.
Yeah.
Tribe happens with people who are like a Harley tribe or whatever. You need to have that
Yeah.
loyalty, and that storytelling as a narrative is really interesting, and what you really did well looks like, because you got that culture. So that's why you all started building your tribe. I think that's kudos to you guys, because your thinking is in the right place. But that brings me to my next question. And so then, were there challenges? Because you were doing it in a very different way, which is not done. Storytelling around shoes and really bringing the culture is not really the way shoes have been sold in India, really speaking.
So actually, initially when we opened our stores, the first store, the people who worked with us were people who came in to volunteer and intern. Like they are guys from good families who are studying but want to come and do this because they love sneakers.
Lovely.
So they came and started working for us.
I think in a nutshell, Superkicks, the early days of Superkicks were built on bunch of interns.
Bunch of interns. And
Bunch of
we
And
were-
the
interns.
passion that
They're
they bring.
enthusiastic.
The enthusiasm.
The people who are into the sneaker, these kids were into sneaker culture for the right reason. They wanted to collect sneakers. They wanted to be closer to the culture, and that's why they wanted to work with us.
Yeah, and
As
like
simple as that.
even the
want
customers who
that.
came to
Yeah.
our store who had no idea why this shoe is famous. So the interns over there that time used to tell the story behind it. And then that became a conversation starter. Like the customers have come to us and said that today I went
Nice.
for this party and I was talking about my shoe.
Correct.
And it became a conversation starter.
Correct.
So I think the first year was a very interesting year for us, because we both were at the store talking to people, talking to customers, understanding why they've come to our store. That kind of helped us to understand the culture better.
But any challenges that you face, or any risk that you took in the hindsight, it has paid off?
Probably the first thing which was a big risk at that point, in 2018, as you would know, online first brands started coming in, right? A lot.
Yes.
But we took a conscious call of not starting our e-commerce along with the store. So we started our website 2 years after the first store opened. So for the first 2 years, if you had to buy any cool sneaker from Superkicks, you had to come find us in Mumbai. That was a big risk. Probably the first
absolutely. In the D2C world, that I would assume so.
The first 2 years, we could have made triple the figures of what we did, what we actually made with one store, a 700 square feet store. But that was a very, very conscious call that we took in the beginning. There were two reasons behind it. A, we wanted to run a very tight ship in the beginning. That's why we opened up a 700 square feet space in a by lane of car, not on the main road. The capex that we wanted to put into it, I wanted to be within a certain limit, so that we can reach a state of profitability soon. Because as you would know, at retail, it takes a lot of time till you reach profitability. But I wanted to reach that as soon as possible, so that it gives me that leeway to build another store and move to the next store as soon as possible. Because here I wanted to expand in the right way. So I wanted to keep the cost down, and that's why we didn't start an online business, because online comes with its own cost, performance ads, then you have your logistics and everything.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to get into that, number one. Number two was we wanted to create this enigma around the brand, that if you know, you will come to that one side gully of car and find us, and then you will get that really cool sneaker that you always wanted. We wanted to create that enigma about the brand. So for the sake of the brand,
so exclusivity, FOMO,
to create that vibe of the brand.
Interesting, yes.
The first 2 years we decided not to start the website, and that was a risk at that point.
Also, it also
I can imagine,
helped-
because in today's day and age, even in 2018, not having a website, it's basically your footprint, your digital address, so to
Exactly.
say.
Exactly.
That's a big risk, but it's paid off, is what I can.
believe so. I hope so.
yeah, it helped building trust with the customers.
Okay.
Because you're coming to our store, people used to come from all over the country. And
Wow, is it?
we have had the first few months, we've had one customer I remember came from Hyderabad just to shop from us. And he was
So you necessarily made them touch, feel, experience and not just
we
click.
were a new brand. We had to create that name and trust for us, and I think being a offline first store helped. So we got all the sneaker heads that time.
Talk about that.
So we got all the sneaker heads that time who were into this the whole sneaker game. So they knew the story behind every shoe. So we got them to
But this is from the
pose.
brands.
No, this
No.
is normal humans who come.
We found them.
We found them. We found them
in
from
certain
different
groups.
groups.
We
like
infiltrated groups and found them.
So there were, as he said,
So
there were
these
some
were
WhatsApp
the
groups.
sneaker aficionados.
Yeah,
What is the word
yeah.
for that? Yeah.
They were the faces that
They were the
time.
collectors.
They were
collectors.
who knew about the store. They knew why they were buying the shoe. Of course, they were also buying for trend and
So
showing
they
off.
became your influencer, like offline.
Yeah, they became our mouthpiece.
So we took them for our campaign, the Kicks Are Coming campaign. I remember I've gone literally from Churchgate to Andheri and I have shot with each one of them. I have a person who's clicking, I'm making them pose, I have giving them placards. I'm only art directing over
You're
there
doing
and
that.
telling them how to pose. And so we use them and to make our feed look
Stand
good,
out.
stand out. And
look
plus,
cool.
it was
Yeah.
genuine, right? You have real faces, real people.
So it's authentic.
Authentic.
Yes.
So that really helped us, again, garner the trust and spread the word even outside of Bombay. Because if one person talks, then everybody starts
Correct,
talking about,
correct.
oh, what is this cool thing that's
Okay.
happening? So let's see more. And then they came to our page. And that's how they started falling in love with our page and the story behind every sneaker. Although some people just came because the sneaker looks good. There was no,
There was not much.
there was not much. But okay, I like this shoe. I will. Oh, it's available at Superkicks. I'll go there and buy.
So people want something different. They want something trending. They want to look cool in their community. So now I'm going to talk more on building on your community. Yeah. So I want to know that was it intentional from day one that you wanted to actually build a community while having a physical store, and then there is merchandise that you're planning, which is different. So putting all of this thing together. So was community a part of it from day one as your vision?
A huge part of it, and that's what she was talking about. The entire Kicks Are Coming campaign involving the community from the get-go. Even before the store started, we involved the people first. We involved the people from the community first, made them our hero, made them our models, made them our mouthpiece.
But are they now? Do you have a Superkicks community separately where they are subscribed or they are engaging?
Yes,
Is there anything like that?
Yes, and they, especially the people who were there since day one with us, we have a very special bond with them. In fact, recently, about a few months ago, we shut down that first store that we
Okay,
opened
the
up.
700
The 700
square,
square. We
one.
shut that down. But unfortunately, that building was going under redevelopment, as any other building in Bombay.
I agree.
And we had to move out. And the new place that we wanted to sign, we would have only gotten it after 2 months of shutting down the previous store. So
my
we
God.
had a gap. So we did this thing called
Last
the
Supper.
Last Supper, but there was a pun on it. The Last Super, we called
Super.
it,
Yeah.
where we call these 15 people who were part of our first initial Kicks Are Coming campaign.
Yeah.
These kids who were part of this, now they're not kids anymore. And they were 7 years ago, where all of those people who helped us be where we are, they were all invited, and we did like a nice sit-down dinner with them.
Yeah.
They were the first ones to see the renders of the new store, how it's going to look like, before
Lovely.
anyone else could. They were given those little tokens of appreciation from our end towards the end. It was like a small little rug which was the Last Supper receipt, like a bill of Superkicks, but
Yeah.
printed on a rug. These all things were done for a select few, purely because these were the ones who didn't know what we were doing at that time.
Yeah.
The store was not there then, and they still believed in us, and they still wanted to be part of what
our
we were
story,
doing.
yeah.
Lovely.
People coming from Jaipur who had no connection, except her. She had a huge connection with Bombay, but I didn't have much of a connection with Bombay and Bombay people. And they trusted us to maybe take something as interesting as Superkicks forward, and they stuck with us. So we definitely have them on a different speed dial. And then the rest of the people and the rest of the community of the who we have garnered over the years.
You've gone over the years. So now do you all use as your marketing, because you all are now how many stores? Five?
Five stores.
Five stores, right? So how has your scale happened? Like then after Bombay, where did you decide to go? I read Hyderabad or
No,
what
the
was it?
second one was
Delhi.
no.
Bangalore. I keep like obvious choice is Delhi.
Shit, we should leave now. While we are at it, Nisha.
I always say Delhi. Second.
I don't know why you say Delhi.
That's okay.
Again, so second choice was Bangalore, and we repeated the same concept of Kicks Are Coming
there.
with the people of
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
So the tried and tested.
Yes, and it's always.
Oh,
I
we
think
have
we've done that for
till
all
date.
till
We have
Till
done
date.
that
date.
till
Yeah.
date.
That's your
We have done Kicks Are Coming every time we open up the store.
Right.
Before that.
Because it should be so that you're making the city realize and connect with the brand. So Kicks Are Coming is great. So you are you now consciously using influencers and all of that?
Yeah.
Like now, so who are the guys that you'll go to?
So
really help you?
now, thankfully, we have a team of people who are scouting new faces that are right fit for the right campaign. So Bombay, we have a few people, like say we have Ankita Chawla, now we have Xerxes Wadia. Xerxes Wadia has been my friend since college, and he came.
He's one of those guys who was part of the
Last
Supper.
Super.
Super.
And so I remember I just called him when this is the first year of Superkicks. I told him like, listen, we're opening up a store. And he used to work with MTV. He used to host a lot of like small shows over
He still
that
does
time.
a lot of these events.
He's quite famous now.
Yeah.
So I told him I want you to come to the store and do like a walkthrough. He's come. Like he's done the walkthrough in like 15 minutes.
No, not even 15 minutes. 700 square feet space ka kya walk through kitna langa hoga?
He's like he had somewhere else to go the other day because he had a prior commitment. He's come to do the walkthrough and he's gone. Like till date, when it comes to when we launch something special, specifically Superkicks, we have these 5-10 people who we always want to seed and give it back to them.
Also, this entire idea of influencer marketing, sort of, we did not do it for the first 5 years. Honestly,
Oh, really? No.
Yeah.
It started 2 years ago, and there's a reason behind it. The first 5 years, and this one needs to understand how sneakers have trended globally and in India. We are not at the peak of sneaker hype anymore. It's going down a bit now. The hype around sneakers are going down. So the first 5 years was, I would say, the honeymoon period for us when it comes to sneakers. The first 5 years of Superkicks, everybody wanted sneakers. There was so much hype around sneakers. People were lining up outside all our stores for the exclusive sneakers that they wanted. People have lined up for 24 hours outside our
So you
sneakers.
finally achieved all that.
Yes,
What you were dreaming.
overnight people have taken sleeping bags outside our stores and slept outside our store to get that one pair of sneakers in the morning.
So
that
you
was
have
launched.
Bangalore. You said you have Bangalore.
Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Jaipur.
Wow.
So 5 cities. So the sneaker hype that we have seen in the first 5 years is not there as much anymore. Now it's not gone down. The business has not gone down. It has only gone up. But sneakers as a concept have become more democratic. Now there are multiple choices. People are not running behind just select few sneakers. Now to each his own. And people are expressing their styles, their individual styles much more now. So in first 5 years, it was more of a pull strategy for us. We didn't need to do a lot of pushing to.
But what is the reason? Because I thought people are still looking at collectibles in sneakers. No, is it accessible and it's available?
It's more accessible, much more accessible. Collectible scenario has gone down drastically now.
It's global?
Global. It starts globally only.
Globally,
It's a very Western concept. So whatever happens globally, now within few months, it happens in India as well.
Okay.
So now people are again going back to classics.
Yeah, people are going basics now. I
Basics
want to get a
class.
superstar, a stance with a samba. Of course, if you want a good color samba, an exclusive color samba, you will come to Superkicks only to get that color, which is specifically at Superkicks. But now it's not as specific to few silhouettes. Like people were running behind Yeezys and Jordans only for the larger period of time. That's not the case anymore. Now wide variety. People are buying Asics, New Balance, Vans, Converse, Fila, everything. Yeah. So it's become more democratic, which is good for the business because it's not just one brand that's doing well. It's all the brands that are doing well.
So you get more different kind of consumer coming in also, right?
Correct. People who are into running style sneaker would buy a running style sneaker from Asics. Others want a classic sneaker, so probably buy a Samba or an Air Force One.
Even like people who go to office now wear sneakers.
Correct.
Initially that wasn't the case.
And that COVID has changed the whole ballgame.
Yeah.
So you have your everyday basic sneakers that go on everything. So you'll have your whites and blacks. So people are coming, as I said, not just, okay, this sneaker is famous or is hyped. They're coming because I want this for a particular reason, or it looks good, or I want to wear it to office, or
it's my style.
I'm traveling, so I need something.
Yeah.
So
traveling shoes have become a thing.
Yeah.
People are, hey, I'm going for a vacation to Portugal. I want to wear a cool sneaker while traveling.
This is just because the whole, so much of social real consumption, and you want to show yourself and you want to wear those. Yeah, I think
so the last
for the brand,
last 2 years is weddings. Yeah, weddings have become a thing.
I agree. Even I wear on those ghagras. Best dancing is sneakers today. Yes.
And I still remember at our store we had this groom who'd come with this first year only.
Yeah, I know. You were there, I remember.
Yeah. And he's come because I'm getting married and I want some sneakers. And that time, I think not a lot of people were wearing sneakers with Indian outfits. But now I think it's just everywhere. So
you said in 2 years back is where you all started a little bit of influencers.
Yeah, because then we started thinking, okay, no, it's not going to be as of a pull strategy anymore. We'll have to push a bit now from our end. We'll have to invest a little bit more on marketing. So the first few things that we want to invest in is teaming up with the right kind of people who can influence in the right kind of way. We don't have influencers who are just sneakerheads only. We also have influencers who are chefs, who are
good stylists,
podcasters, who are stylists.
Because stylists are the ones who will put a statement over there.
Yes,
like they'll influence a lot of people, including they also style celebrities. So once a celebrity is wearing something cool, you want.
Exactly.
Did you guys get celebrities coming to you, as in? Are there
you're on that. We still have that. We still do, but now
I think the stylists end up.
Yeah, they end up sending the stylists a lot more. But initially, a lot of these celebrities were directly coming as well. I remember the first celebrity that we got was Ran Vijay.
Yeah.
He was staying like literally 2 minutes away from our first store.
Okay. He used to come every day.
He was the happiest because he could just walk up to a sneaker store, and he's a big sneaker collector. Huge sneaker collector. His sneaker collection would be about 700 odd pairs minimum.
Wow.
He has a bungalow or something on the outskirts of Bombay where he has a huge room just for sneakers.
Wow.
So he was, I think, the first celebrity. Then
And do you have many such peak regular customers who are big collectors and they have?
Yeah. But as I said, in the last few years, this collection part of things have gone down. The the idea behind collecting sneakers have sort of dimmed
dying down.
Yeah. So it's more now, I want to express myself better through my shoes, and that's why I'm buying, not just for collection part of it.
So then that brings me to the whole, how do you now do the range? Because tell me first thing first, that when your sneakers, when you were doing this kind of a thing, were globally all the brands coming to you as the first drop of those exclusive limited collection
If I have to explain
pieces?
this to you
Can you decode?
mathematically,
Yeah.
if there are 100 shoes that are being made by a brand in a year, 20 of them would be very cool and exclusive and should deservedly come to a store like Superkicks. 20 of those 100.
But tell me first thing, that does India come in there?
I'm just going to complete that.
Yeah.
And out of those 20 exclusive, cool, amazing sneakers that should come to a place like Superkicks, unfortunately, some of these brands end up only showcasing sort of 10 of them to India. 10 don't end up coming to India.
What's the reason? Why are we still understated? And because that's the reason Indians are globally traveling. Like I too, I keep buying it abroad and then don't buy in India. So what is the reason?
Bunch of reasons. Number one, the undisputed champion of sneakers among all the brands is Nike.
Correct.
Okay. And unlike other brands like Adidas or Puma have done amazingly well to set themselves up in India and penetrate the Indian market, Nike unfortunately had a rocky start of entering India. They had certain partners in the beginning who did not do justice, the Indian counterpart, who did not do justice to the brand. Now, of course, in the past 3-4 years, they have come back in a big way, in a better way, much cleaner way, the way that matches the brand value of Nike. And so now we will get to see them splurging more on India market and offering better products, but that was not the case earlier. Nike did not follow through with India, did not do enough justice to the market. But secondly, unlike other Western markets or the much more mature market, India has a lot of fakes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. What do you do with all those
The penetration
fakes
of fakes that come to India is a lot.
But it's also because of our consumption issue. We don't have the merchandising, the buying power.
No, I mean, if you think about it, okay, I know as compared to the entire population of India, probably our TAM for Superkicks would be hardly 5% of the entire population of India. But that 5%
is good.
5% is not bad, but the 5% of India is like 40% of US. In terms of number of
Correct,
people,
absolutely,
right?
And it's a top.
So I see our TAM equal to the people who are subscribed to, say, Netflix and Jio Hotstar. They are my TAM.
Correct.
That's if I have to keep it very simple, because people who are consuming Netflix would be the ones who would be interested in cool sneakers also.
Yeah.
So the 5% is great, but for those 5%,
Because they're traveling abroad, they're aware, so that range, I think, is an issue.
accessibility to outside of India stores, Dubai, Singapore, Thailand, great stores, great collection,
correct.
is amazing. So for them, they never demanded a better product in India because they were getting it outside of India. And for the rest of them, it didn't matter. So it was in that lull. Now, of course, since COVID, they started demanding. Like, hey, I don't want to travel anymore. I want all the cool stuff here. What are we doing about it?
Correct.
So a lot of these brands, Adidas, Puma, caught up to that. They now, in that math, if there are 100 shoes Adidas are making, out of which 20 are cool, all 20 come to India now.
Very good.
Yeah.
Adidas is sending all of those. Puma is sending all the other brands, Asics, New Balance, they're getting the best stuff here. Nike is still catching up to that. Instead of 10, now it's 15. Great, but 20 wants to
So they still want that trust from you guys that there is a demand, or even if you show that there is a demand, they are still hesitant.
Yeah, but again,
I think they also didn't want to dilute the market too much initially. And
yeah, possibly. They had their reasons. Had the reasons, but I would imagine there is no reason anymore to continue doing that. They should go full force, which they are. I am pretty aware of that they're investing heavily in India now. They did a Nike run recently with women in Bombay, the night run, which was quite successful. So they're going to invest a lot in India. Nike, it's going to be a huge few years for Nike now. So the trust is now there back with the country, with the ecosystem.
But at the same time, now that you're saying the demand is becoming a little more unique to me, more generic. I
Yeah.
also want a sports shoe. I want
Yeah.
a. So that, what does that do from your product management and merchandising? Because
Oh,
now
it changes.
It's saying-
Completely changes the game,
It
right?
changes the game altogether. Now, see, Adidas, say for example, in Adidas has Adidas Originals and then the performance range, and there is a core range and everything. Now, we used to go and only see Adidas Originals because that's
what you are.
lifestyle. But now we are also seeing performance stuff. We're seeing, okay, if it's a running shoe but it looks good on feet, we better have it at Superkicks.
So
as
then, Sangeet, my ask is that because you stood as a niche, premium lifestyle with a very clear, the sneaker
Yeah.
lovers and all of that, to now becoming that. So then, would you sort of have the issue of becoming like a multi-branded store of sneakers?
No.
Wouldn't you then fall back there?
No.
So if you try keep everything in.
No. Again,
So how do you maintain your, positioning?
let me try and explain. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: if I have just the exclusive stuff, then I think our inventory on the floor or on the wall will be in cut sizes all the time. So you need to have a balance of a base level stock, and then you need to have like your sprinkle around your cool shoes here and there. So the base level stock could be something that could be with everyone. Fair enough, you're right. But there's a good healthy 25% to 30% mix which will only be available still with certain sneaker doors like ours or Veg Non-Veg, the concept stores that we have. So that we will always maintain come what may. Even if the trend changes and we need to pick up a performance shoe from here and there, but even the performance shoes, there are some exclusive that only come to us.
Also
Will
the
not go to other.
curation.
It's all about the curation.
Curation.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was
even if you're, imagine you have everything under one roof, right? Like you have all the brands and all the cool brands, cool sneakers under one roof. So it's easy for a consumer to come and choose.
Correct.
So curation also
Because then I know
helps
I'm
in-
going to the store which is exclusive. I
Yeah.
will not get in most of the doors in India.
and it's not about sneakers anymore. You can talk about the streetwear
Yeah, so-
part of it.
Yeah,
that's where I'm, of course, alluding
So
to.
now, because as we all know that the sneaker collecting scene is not as high as it was before, so we branched out into deep diving into apparel. Now apparel for us is like we have 4-5 brands that are exclusive to us, international brands. So that is also setting us apart from
So
other
which are the
stores.
brands that you'll keep?
So we have Fundamental, Naked and Famous, Edwin, Aries. These are exclusive. Represent is also exclusive, and we have other international brands like BBC and Carhartt, Pata, which very few stores have it, and we are one of them. But like these 5 brands are exclusive to us. So imagine you're coming to a store with again curated sneakers, but also apparel.
Apparel which is
Yeah.
curated. But is there awareness that these are the brands which are internationally some of the best streetwear, and I'm getting, so is there a, like in sneakers you said that you had to create the whole storytelling,
Yeah.
bring in the culture side of it, so what happens in apparel?
It's the same all over
It's,
again.
yeah,
So you're doing the same and
It's Superkicks too.
educating,
Educating,
because
yeah.
only the loyal customers who are aware
Yes,
will first
very
come.
niche.
Very
Few
niche,
people
yes.
know
We are
about
doing
brands.
with apparel what we did with sneakers in
Sneakers,
2018
yeah.
now.
And then my question to you is a follow-up, because sneakers and the business, you guys were in the business of sneakers, so you understood the unit economics. Your father did, and so did you.
Yeah.
Now this is a whole new range for you,
Yeah.
because apparel is a whole new gamut
Yeah.
of things again. And you are not a D2C, you said. You first started in your stores. How are you managing that?
Apparel?
And what has it done to your balance sheet? Like, I mean, are you
It's
profitable?
Actually,
No.
Are you profitable?
We are profitable,
Yeah.
for sure. But I think we have taken more risk on the apparel side of
Apparel,
things
yeah.
than footwear.
Footwear.
These brands, at least everybody knows Nike, Adidas. The
Ah,
brands, even
Correct.
if
These are very not so popular.
something like a Naked and Famous is such a niche of a
Niche,
niche of a
yeah.
niche brand
Correct.
that the awareness is completely non-existent in
Correct.
India. But we had to take that risk purely because we wanted to pivot towards a new category and test out this category because it's a lower hanging fruit. Sneakers are more expensive, though some of these brands are expensive as well.
Expensive,
Their
yeah. 'Cause
t-shirts
they're-
go for 6,000, 7,000 rupees. as
Yeah, I
well.
would assume so, because
And specifically the denim fundamental, that is
that goes to about 35, 40,000. There are
40,000.
denim jeans and everything.
So is the brand themselves investing in India and helping you to create marketing awareness, or it's all on you?
No, it's all on us.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's another big risk.
So
that
it was a
you,
risk. It was, we had to dedicate a good sum of amount of money to test out some of these brands. Some of these brands, we had like 12 brands at one point in time, which we have cut down to some 7-8 brands now, because
Okay.
5 brands didn't work out for us. So we are still going to continue testing some of these brands, but we buy low quantities. We don't buy a huge quantity. We test it out with a low set of numbers. The minimum order quantity is what we end up buying from them.
Represent was a
So
good
Yamuk
case
was a-
study for us.
Represent.
So represent the brand was a good case study for us, because I think that was the first exclusive brand that came to us, and we were not. And this is when the Mumbai store was really small, and still this brand was moving. Now, whether it's the quality, the print, or some people already knew about the brand,
Right.
I think now that brand is known in at least in your metro cities that represent.
Represent is
And
Yeah.
if you want to represent, you have to go
To
to
come
Only
to
Superkicks.
come
Superkicks,
Superkicks.
right.
Because we started with that, and the brand did wonderfully with us, and then I think the trickle effect is coming on other brands as well. But Represent was great, and it's still doing really,
So
really
are you
well.
seeing a different consumer walking in, or it's the same? So one is because in how it works in retail. Retail is all about repeat. Because first time inviting, because you know the cost of acquisition is
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
But once they come in, you want them to come in, and you know. And so are you seeing, because of apparel and all, a more repeat purchase bringing in, or there are consumers who are only coming in for your apparel brand and then buying
Mix
sneakers?
of both.
Mix of both, yeah.
A mix of both. There's repeat buying happening. In fact, repeat buying happening a lot in sneakers as much as
repeat
happening in
purchase,
apparel
okay.
as well. There are some fanatics who swear by, say, a Represent or a Naked and Famous, because Naked and Famous is they make like really good denim jeans. So they have like a 12-ounce jeans and an 18-ounce jeans, which only denim connoisseurs would understand this lingo and this world. And people swear by that. But they are far and few. Like they're a handful. You could count them in 2 hands. Probably that's
correct.
the
India's
number of
yet
people who are
not.
fanatics about
Correct.
that particular brand. So, but with this new store opening in, the fact that we have such a range which is premium and exclusive to
It's
us.
a bigger store now.
Yes, much bigger. It's
Yeah,
2,800 square feet.
2,800, I read, correct.
So now, with the way we can showcase the products really well, has helped us fetch in a lot of new customers as well. Because
Correct.
they are also walking in, and it's much more visible. We are on a main road now.
Yeah.
So visibility bhi badhiya hai. So people are walking in and they want to explore these brands which they will normally not find in any other place of India. So it's a mix
they're
of both.
noticing these brands is because the display capacity is also increased, right?
Yeah.
So when you enter a store and you see the clothes displayed in a certain way, you are curious, you are intrigued.
Correct.
So they, besides the shoes, they are also noticing the apparel, which was not the case initially, at least with the smaller store. But now the visibility has increased.
And I'm assuming what you are wearing is one of your.
Oh yeah,
brand,
we
right?
do we make our own apparel as well. We
Oh, you
have
make your own also.
Yes.
Now talk
Yeah.
more about that. So that's balancing your
Margins more than anything
yes,
else.
Yes, that's the,
You need it
that's
for your
the balance,
margins.
correct. That is where the profitability comes. So talk about the private label.
No, it's still at a very, very nascent
Very
stage. We
nascent.
started this 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago properly. We are making basically stuff which we call as elevated essentials.
Okay.
So something like this jacket which you see, which is a plain jacket but made with high quality material, great fit, looks great,
Looks great,
on a regular day like this, or if you go on a weekend party, you can probably pull this off, or you can wear it in your office. But you're gonna look more polished, so
Correct.
to say, a little more elevated than just a
Just a
t-shirt,
basic
and
t-shirt.
that's about it.
That's the idea. So you've nuanced
Yeah.
it, but is it called something? Superkicks or
No, we call it Superkicks.
Superkicks.
It's Superkicks
So it's your
apparel. We didn't go with any other name. I feel it's beneficial for us to stick to the same name, because it will also be a marketing tool for us.
Yeah.
If more people end up buying the Superkicks t-shirts with the Superkicks logo or Superkicks call out, and the more people get to know
more
about it.
consumers will start looking at it. So, and then so what about your D2C strategy now? Now that you said you started 2 years late, but is it now, is that a bigger strategy for you? More online, more D2C? Or is it still coming to the
Stores?
Stores.
No, we will always be biased towards stores.
Stores, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll always be biased towards stores. As
But
people.
looking at the consumer that you have, which is younger, I'm assuming more Gen Z, early millennials, and also is that they're still wanting to come to the store, or they're not looking at things online?
No,
they do.
They do. Of course, online is.
But you sell now on e-commerce?
Yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
e-commerce is 55% of our business.
Yeah.
Also, it's big.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
it is
like
big.
It is 55%.
So you are available on Myntra?
No. Only our own
Only
platform.
on Superkicks.
Only our own.
Okay.
We can't sell it on any other platform because the kind of range that we have a mandate by every brand that you can
brand.
only
So
sell
it's
it on
exclusive on your. So and it's still 55%, so which is good.
Yeah.
But you still love the idea of having stores.
Yeah.
Because we are directly connecting with the consumer, and that's the best learning you can get. Like you get to talk to your consumer, you get to understand the customer, and that's also helping us decide the future products.
Lovely.
Because we're seeing what
The feedback loop is better.
Very
Better.
better,
Much
yeah.
better.
So then are you able to manage your service?
Yes, because my entire training for the front end team is all about better customer service. There's nothing else that we are obsessed about when it comes to the store team.
Thought.
It is.
Even now.
I mean, the customer care team, but yeah, that's you. I think it's sort of ingrained in everybody's mind who's working at the store that they are representing the brand more than anything else, and they better deliver on that. I keep ingraining this thing into their mind that if people are coming to your store and not going to the Nike store in that city, there's a reason. The reason is that they must have heard from their friend, their peer, or they must have been aware about the fact that if you want sneakers, go to Superkicks.
Correct.
So if they are coming with that expectation that if you want sneakers, go to Superkicks, and if you are not able to justify that with your way of talking to them or your information that you're providing to them, it's not up to the mark, then you've failed as a brand. You're not doing justice to the brand image that has already been created for the last 7 years. So you have to be that person who knows everything about sneakers.
Lovely. So tell me, so this is, I'm going to segue into the culture. Because as founders, it's one store is about getting those interns and passion is okay. But 5 stores, and when you're expanding, now comes the time to have a certain culture, certain ethos. So how have you done that? Like, what are your...
You're talking about the internal culture?
Yeah, your people,
company culture?
your company culture, your people policies, your leadership, basically.
I think, first of all, I have to start that as two founders, we are completely opposite of how we run the company.
Yeah, as husband and wife, how does it work?
It's yin and yang. I am more of the discipline guy. I'm more of the planner, and she's more of the on the spot, get things done. Let's do it this way. The creative person, also the person who will be your friend. I'll be not so much as a friend, but a guiding force. So there's a
I'm
balance.
never in my
between the two.
cabin. I'm always sitting outside
So
with
who's
my team.
playing the HR role between the two of you? Is there any human resource? Because people, if you have, what's your team like? How much?
We have about almost 90 people working at Superkicks, out of which about 45 people are working in the front end, which is your
Stores.
stores.
and
Yeah.
the rest of the 45
Yeah.
people working in the back end.
So there is a sizable team that you have to. So is this somebody playing an HR role? Somebody is.
She's a better HR person than me because she connects with the people better. She understands their problem really well. I am more of a guy who would want to resolve problems ASAP. Like, jaldi khatam karo yaar, kaam karna hai. But yeah, you can speak more about this.
No, so as I said, I'm never in my cabin. Like we have a separate cabin, but I'm never inside because I'm always with the team. And of course, when you're with them, you're learning their personal problems also.
Yeah, you're
so
the more nurturing. I think women
yeah.
usually bring the nurturing side.
It
right?
is,
Yeah.
and I always imagine if I was in that person's shoes, what would happen,
The
right? So
empathy,
the
yeah.
empathy is always there, and I know that sometimes it can backfire, but because we have, I think, one thing is for sure that people who come to us stick around, and that's So that says
That's-
So
something.
that's
with the
also what's your
culture.
culture? Is
That
it more that freedom, empowerment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Full freedom. We have an open door policy. You can come in and talk to us about anything, whether it's your personal or official problem. So we've always been very open to the idea of their ideas also. So if you're coming to us with an idea, it's not rejected.
Yeah.
Lovely. So you are open.
And I think
Yeah.
I believe in two things, which I keep telling people as well. That number one, I do not treat anyone however old you are,
Yeah.
as children. I'm gonna treat you as adults, and if you have done your mistake, you have a problem with some other guy in the team,
Right.
fix it amongst yourselves. Do not come to me, and only come to me if things have reached out of hand. So I treat them as adults.
But they come to me.
Second thing is that what I sort of abide by when it comes to culture is that we strive for a internal culture that is closest to the culture that we externalize to our consumers. If we are portraying or we believe as a brand in certain thoughts that we are telling our customers, we better believe it internally
Yes,
as
you
well.
have
So
to
the
internalize.
closest that you reach to your external culture internally as well, I think that's the best kind of a culture you can have for your team.
I agree, because then it's seamless. You're not forcefully
Then you're
doing
seamless.
it.
Then you're seamless.
correct.
And that's what I strive for as much as possible. So if you are showcasing your consumers, for example, which we do, that we are a very inclusive brand. We are your friendly neighborhood sneaker store. That's what we
we call ourselves.
keep calling ourselves, that we are the friendly. So you better be inclusive as in your internal culture as well, that you need to sort of involve people. You need to be more inclusive. You need to be giving them a second chance or even a third chance to make sure that, hey, we understand them. And especially there is a age gap for the average median age of our team is about 24, 25 and we are now 35, 36.
Gen
so
Zs, yeah.
it's Gen Zs more or less. So they work in a different way and you have to understand that. They might be a little impatient, but at the same time, they are quick on their feet. So you have to appreciate that fact. And in today's day and age, you have to be quick
And
on
they're
your feet.
passionate. They bring
Very
in a lot
passionate.
of passion for you.
Very passionate. The trends change so quickly now that you have to be on your feet all the time. Which I can't understand, but Nisha understands that really well. And that's why we sort of both of us are now become like a sort of an enabler of sorts in the team.
Initially, we were micromanaging a lot.
Not anymore.
And we've had a lot of sleepless nights because I still remember in the first 2 years of Superkicks, the team was really, really small. So I was handling the posting of every shoe, Instagram DMs was all under me. Right. So I still remember it used to be 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. I'm like, Sangeet, this is the problem. Or like, just go to sleep now. I'm like, no, I have to reply to this problem. So it took us a while to separate ourselves from the business because it was so difficult.
And I think it happened at the right time. Now we are parents.
We're parents.
Correct. You're one or two?
One.
Okay.
One
Recent,
9 month old.
9 month old. So now you know that you have to.
So it's probably that separation and the idea of not micromanaging anymore came at the right time so that we could spend more time with our kiddos.
Like because everything like until like a year and a half ago, even like which post will be the first picture in that post had to go by me.
Through you, yeah.
And I don't do that. I've given
you
that
to empower your team as you scale. That's true. So talk about pivoting, because I was talking to you, there are a lot of founders, when they start, because you would have put in a certain plan, obviously, but because like you said, market is dynamic, things are changing, and there is what you planned is not happening because something else is going around. How do you pivot? Because how important it is, and to be resilient. So I want to talk more on that.
There was this recently. I was part of this panel discussion, and someone asked me what's the next 5-year vision, and to which I said there is no 5-year vision. The max I could tell you is that what I have planned for next year, which hopefully should happen in today's day and age where market changes, the weather changes, the market reaction to anything happening globally changes so frequently. How much ever you try to plan, things can come. Like let's see the example of right now. There's a BIS situation that's happening in India right now with footwear, where imports have become difficult for the brands in the footwear category, which led to about 65% of our last season stock getting deducted.
Yeah.
We
my
didn't get
God.
65% of our stock last year,
Oh my God.
which we were supposed to get. Imagine how much
That's a
it
huge
must have
impact.
hampered
Yeah.
our business.
Correct.
So you can't prepare yourself for that. What can you do in such a scenario?
Right.
Or say, for example, election time, or say, for example, any war time, or tariffs.
Tariffs, I was just going to tell you that because
Tariffs.
you are importing everything. How is that affecting?
It does, because at the end of the day, the margins are getting squeezed. Thankfully, the brands are passing on the same kind of margin to us, but the brands are not happy. The global headquarters of Nike, imagine, would they be happy with this scenario? Not at all.
Not at all.
They're
You
just
can't scale or you can't give them the
exactly, and so
numbers.
then it may affect how they treat India in the future, because
Correct.
that's and that's what's scary about.
Scary,
So how much ever you can plan, I don't think it's gonna be, it's a futile exercise in today's day and age. Having said that, I'm being realistic. I'm not being pessimistic by saying this. I'm being realistic by saying this, because we do plan certain things which we feel are in our control. And that's, I think this is more than anything, it's a human philosophy. Just chase things which you think is in your control. Except, is there anything in your control? Now we can get into philosophy now.
But failures, have you all seen failures or how have you managed? No?
Bunch of failures,
Yeah.
man. You remember the
website
crash. Oh, you want to talk about that?
So this is, I think, during COVID time, and we had just started online our website, right? So, and the first exclusive drop happened, the easy drop, and it happened online. And of course, imagine the kind of traction that is there on our page that time, because everyone's at home, right?
Not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
We want shoes. And we dropped the shoe.
And we dropped the shoe. It was easy.
That's a great timing though. Everybody wants it and you're
Great
getting it.
timing, but hell of a 2 nights, because
So as soon as we launched the shoe, it got sold out in like seconds, and our website crashed.
You are not planned for that kind of traffic.
No,
Yeah. No,
that
so-
much traffic we had planned. Also, we'd planned, but still it didn't happen because it just crashed, and that was not the problem. Website crashes, and it's very
that
normal.
you see for the big ones, right? The concert time, how Book My Show crashes and all of that.
So
right?
it could be a good PR
Yeah,
also.
the Ed Sheeran shows and
that
whatever.
we came to know later.
Yeah, no,
Coldplay,
but
Coldplay was talking about it all the time, the crashes,
yeah,
right?
but what happened with
yeah,
our case is that we had about 100 pairs that we were selling at that point in time. Before the site crashed, in the matter of 30 odd seconds, we got 300 orders for 100 pairs.
For 100 pairs.
So we oversold. We didn't have the pairs.
The problem was we had to cancel. So we did
You
first come.
couldn't bring in?
No. These
They're
are allocated.
These are highly allocated, exclusive. You can't
You
get
can't
more.
even get
Oh, you
one pair
can't.
more.
Oh,
If you're given,
my
if
God.
you're given 100, you will get 100. You will not even get 101.
This is a good problem to have, though, let me tell you.
For that time, imagine, as we said, customer was everything for us, right? Like till date, I didn't even want one customer to feel bad. But of course, that's not in our control.
So what did you do then?
So it was. So imagine we got so much hate the first time in
got
2
trolled.
years. We were hated on our comments.
Oh God,
And
200 odd comments.
we have not slept for 2 nights trying to figure out what to do. And when we spoke to the brand was happy, like, yeah, crash happened because of this drop, and because of course the hype is there. I think it took us a lot of drops like this to understand that 1 second, we are the people who are giving you the shoes, right? So
Right.
we will set the rules. So we came up with certain set of rules that
And only first 100 or only first 450, no?
like just saying that one pair per person, and double orders will get cancelled. Like we had these set of
Got
rules
it.
that
Yeah,
were
we made bunch of rules
So
after
you
that.
learned what was happening from
yes,
there,
and
right?
we
But
put it
more-
on our caption.
Yeah, but the best rule in that caption, I think, was that no abuse is allowed or
Yeah.
anything allowed.
You
We will not
will-
tolerate that.
That will be banned. Like, so you will not get, even if you're shopping from us, we will cancel your order.
Profanity.
Yeah.
Of course. Because you have to manage.
I still remember when you put that up, we had no hate comments. Everyone was like, when is the drop happening? Okay. So we had to set.
So you learned how to be
learn.
transparent
Yes.
and
Yes.
make
I think that
some
was the biggest
rules.
learning, that hey,
Yeah.
let's be transparent. Let's not take that entire pressure of all the hate in the world.
In the world.
Wherein things like this can happen. And by the way, you know how internet can be filthy
Yeah,
and
yeah.
can be excessive when it comes to getting that hit. But giving back from time to time in the right way possible, we learned that with
The
this
hard way.
particular incident.
Are you guys now having investors, or this is the money that is rolled? Because are you looking at
Self-funded.
Self-funded.
self-funded?
Yeah.
So is there any plan? Are you all going to pitch tables, pitching the brand for scale?
Hopefully. See, I'll tell you about investment part as well. See, as an investor, you would want to not just see, if you're an investor, you would want to see a brand not just be profitable, but also see that there's scope for
Scale.
immense scale.
Yes.
There's a hockey stick.
Yeah.
In a brand like Superkicks,
But it's niche. I'm sure investors understand. No?
no, not really. You would be surprised. But in a brand like Superkicks, getting a hockey stick is sort of impossible. Getting a sustainable growth is. Getting a bit by bit growth is. If you're here for the long haul, yes. But a lot of investors don't think that way. They want a 5-year return horizon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a little difficult to find investors in such a brand which is niche. But having said that, since we were discussing about how we've been pivoting, how we've been thinking of new plans and everything, how this BIS also came in and everything, we have started thinking about certain plans which could help or make it interesting for an investor too. And I'm still in the middle of cracking it with Nisha and figuring that out. But the idea is that if that works out really well, that could be an exciting proposition for certain investors. And that also you get to know later on. In hindsight, I could have thought of this earlier. Like, yaar, ye to kar sakte the, isko aise badhao. If you can't, the principle here is if you can't grow by width, can you grow deep?
Correct.
If you can't open 20 stores, which does not suit a brand like Superkicks, you cannot be present everywhere. Then what is the niche? What is the
you don't want
nicheness is
to-
dead. You're
Dead.
diluting your brand. But can you go deep?
Yeah.
And I should have thought about it 2 years ago. But 2 years ago, it was all hunky-dory. It was all great. It was more pull strategy. Business aa raha tha. BIS problem nahi tha. Hype badhiya tha. To kyun karna hai? You were going in the right gaadi.
Right.
It's not as if I'm not ambitious, but I thought this is a great path. Let us continue to be in this path. But then you have to pivot. As you rightly said, you have to keep pivoting. Now you're backed in a corner and you are thinking and innovating and improvising as you go. And then you think of something interesting enough that, hey, no, width may not be the solution. Depth could be a solution and it could be exciting for investors to come on board.
So what's your ambition like? Are you looking at how many stores, or what was your future? Is that what you want?
Just 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, probably if we aim to do 1 store a year extra,
Okay.
I think we are happy.
You are happy.
I'm happy with that.
So is it about the market size that you're looking at? Because you're also selling 55% is online. So there is a...
But the online is getting expensive.
Yeah.
Selling online is expensive. Performance ads, meta ads, too expensive. I mean,
So that's not your happy space.
Yeah,
looks
we could have another podcast just on meta ads and the frustration around dealing with them. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
It's too expensive. Thankfully, we have an interestingly healthy
I think
ROAS.
you have a very strong community. You just have to use them and incentivize them with coupons and just make them your, your influencer, your mouth here for you. They are your influencers. You're not paying outside, and just they'll be so excited. You give them, use like an MLM strategy. If I'm your influencer, I get you, sell a sale. You give me some percentage, but keep using your crowd.
Yeah, no,
because the
absolutely.
cloud that they will have and the virality that nobody can beat that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
You
you're
don't
right.
need anything. You don't get into the whole ROAS game. Because you're not going the mass
No, absolutely.
segue,
You're
right?
right.
So
You're
use your
right.
tribe to the way you want to. My next thing is to bringing a husband and wife in the category. I mean, working together. How does it work? How much do you all fight? Or you're very clear? Or you take all your fights home?
Of course we fight, but our fights are very interesting. It's because, as you said, we are yin and yang. So his
But it's a common goal.
It's a common goal, yes. So where
Approach might be different.
approach might be different, but we end up doing the right thing at the right time. And I think some people think that it's so difficult for us to work together, like dynamic wise. But
Yes.
as I said, I am not the person who wants to sit on the chair and come to me. No. I mean, for him, it's very different that like he's sitting and he has this to-do list with him. Like, this is what I'm going to do today. This is my task of the day. For me, it's doing those tasks. So like
So you're more of the doer.
I'm more of
He's
the
more of
doer.
a planner.
Yes.
You're a bigger picture.
yes, yes.
I'm the bigger picture.
You're the bigger
I'm
picture.
definitely
really.
the bigger picture. She's more hands-on in
Hands-on.
terms of
Execution.
and also not just the execution, the right kind of execution.
Right.
If you're throwing an interesting party, if you're doing a Halloween party, say for example, at Superkicks Mumbai store, she will know the best way to do it. She'll not just put hey Halloween and some booth ke photos and call it a day. No, she'll make it interesting. She'll probably have and we've been watching this series called Dexter, so she'll probably have a Dexter themed party. She'll make it interesting. So that is what she is great at. While I know ki the fundas are for me are very clear.
Business
If you want to reach point B, the path is this, and then she just rides with the path. She goes and takes the path ahead. From time to time,
So
I come and
that's
say,
sort
"Hey,
of
are we on the side path?"
believability in each other that, I am. So that's very clear that I am defining the path and you are making
Executing
it
the
happen.
path. Yeah, making it happen. That's exactly
Yeah.
how it's happening.
And then do you all carry your fights at work
No,
from home?
absolutely not.
No?
That's the best
Today
thing
I'm
about
not talking to you because
No.
No, yeah, no. You think? Shit.
Of course, the fights, of course, they happen, and it's sometimes I have to tell him that this is what I was going at and this is what I meant, and then he's like, okay, fine. So there are these little.
so there are rules, ground rules, house rules.
Yeah, house rules or ground rules. Like, okay, if this is something I'm doing, you can tell me the opinion, but do not come and suddenly change the plan
Change the
because there's a reason I'm doing this. So that I think that goes for both of us. If
And
he's
over the years,
planning
we've
something, I
understood that.
don't. Yeah.
Initially, there were more fights and bickering. Now, of course, it's to the minimum.
But on the pitch table, do investors mind as husband and wife together if something goes wrong?
No. So we have
co-founders?
done so. We have not seeked funding yet as
you've not.
such. We did some water testing a few months ago. We got a valuation done. When we also met a couple of investors just to understand what's the feeler out there. Is this an investable business enough for you guys? That's about it.
Okay, so you're
We
still
didn't, we didn't go deep.
You've not gone deep. as yet.
Till we started making this new plan, which we feel is exciting enough. Hopefully, the investors would also agree when we start doing that seriously, but which probably will happen next year. But this year, though, we are still hanging in there.
So now coming to, because of this BIS problem, did that give you an opportunity to bring in the Indian sneaker brands today? Because there are a lot of them coming up. So is there any game happening there?
Yes, so we
Yeah.
already have Thaely, the snake.
Thaely. Yeah.
This is again an Indian sneaker brand that is making shoes like right out of plastic, and it's amazing. The concept is amazing.
Yes.
We
Sustainable.
really, sustainable, and the shoes are also good looking. So that brand is there with us, and of course we are about to onboard Gully Labs as well. So these two brands.
And is there a demand that are these consumers who are coming to you and your customers? Do they want only the foreign ka chhap that is abroad,
Mostly,
global,
yes.
Mostly, yes.
or are they okay with the cool Indian? As long as the cool quotient is there, I'm okay with.
I hope that becomes
Becomes the thing,
more
yeah.
prevalent, that they ask Gully Lab by
Lab, yeah.
name or Thaely by name, but that's not the case
Yet.
right now.
No, and also loyalty, because given that the segment that you're dealing with, who are not loyal beyond a point, they are constantly hunting. If something next cooler in their head comes in, they will just switch off.
Yeah.
So for you, I think that's another big challenge to really worry
I don't
about,
think
right?
I can expect a lot of loyalty in today's day and
yeah.
age.
They're not looking for that.
I mean, Harley Davidson is an exception in this world today, and that also is fading. Not a lot of bikers are out there doing pit stops with Harley Davidson anymore in the US also, for that matter.
Right.
I think that's a yesteryear culture now. Any kind of loyalty expectation is a bit too much in today's day and age.
It's a myth, you're saying.
It's a myth. I
So what's your male, female, yes, like you have more men
Consumers?
Yeah.
Yeah, more men.
More men.
More men
It's
still?
about 65% men.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still
But yeah, it's definitely increased to from where we started.
Oh, it was about 80-20.
Yeah.
we didn't have the range before, and now at
Yes.
least.
But as I said, it was a struggle to convince the brands to give us all the cool stuff for women as well.
Right.
And I was just telling we had an interview at our store the other day, and I was telling that the wall that I see at my store is like this huge wall only with women's sneakers, and I feel it's a very proud moment for me
Proud.
because I remember the first year I couldn't shop from my
Out of
own.
150 odd shoes, there were like 10, 15 odd shoes just for women.
And I had
Rest was men.
yeah, like I had this. I used to like this silhouette called Air Max 97, and I really like that. He got it for himself from Superkicks, and I couldn't get it. But now you were getting the
And
size.
she had to end up buying it in Italy, somewhere in Italy when we were traveling. Air Max 97 तुमने तो खरीद के दिया नहीं, यहाँ पर मुझे बाहर से खरीदना पड़ रहा है. Superkicks के owners को बाहर से खरीदना पड़ रहा है. But that's not the case anymore.
And so when
Nice,
we
that's
went for
nice.
these trade shows also, I think I made it a point to tell them that listen, I also want to shop from my own store, and it's time that
Correct.
we get these shoes to India. And I'm not saying at all, but at least start, and you'll see a difference. So that also helped. Today when I see that wall, it's like wow, yay.
Feel the pride. Awesome, because yes, you've seen the journey from not giving you to slowly building, and now at
Giving
some
you a
point
lot of
demanding
choices. Yeah.
that we are there now. You give us like
Yeah.
really you're 100% opening with the
Yeah.
brands. I think that's a lot of pride that you guys definitely I give it to you. So awesome, and more power to you.
Thank
I
you
think
so much.
give more kicks and become more super. Like
Thank you. Thank you
brilliant.
so
And on that note, we are going to do a little more fun segue, a rapid fire. I don't have a hamper, but still.
That's okay.
The one sneaker that defines your personal style, both of you. What is different for you? What is different for you?
I like this silhouette from Nike called Cortez. I love that silhouette, and it's so versatile. It goes on everything that I wear, and I have like at least 4 pairs of it, just Cortez at home. So yeah, for me it's Cortez.
And she's a Nike girl. She's been saying.
I'm more of the
Adidas.
Adidas guy. So for me, it's Adidas Samba right now. I mean, it keeps on changing, but at one point I was obsessed with some other silhouette of Adidas. And then before that was Nike, Jordans particularly. But right now, Sambas are something that I prefer wearing all the time. Yeah.
One, a sneaker drop that you guys will never forget that you'll really enjoy.
Oh, there's only one. You have to say.
So we launched this Air Jordan 1 called Lost and Found. It was a white and red silhouette, black and
No, white and red.
So we organized a treasure hunt
For Edge on one.
for this particular drop
Okay.
in all our like
Stores
simultaneously.
So if we would have launched this like a regular launch with a camp out outside the store, दंगे हो जाते, riots हो जाते outside all our stores.
It was such a hype
demand.
shoe.
Wow.
Such a high demand. This was back in 2021. And it was huge demand right after COVID and everything.
And we
Huge.
were
correct.
really
There's a lot of
worried.
pent-up buying happening.
Yeah. So what we did was, I think, one of the coolest stunt we have ever performed in our history of Superkicks yet, which is organizing a treasure hunt to get your hands on those shoes by clues that we will give you via Instagram. You have to go around the city to figure out where you'll get the stub.
Wow.
To apply for the
Raffle.
for the shoe. You have to get that stub to the Superkick store after you've cracked
So
the
it's
treasure
not like
hunt.
you just go and no, you have to find that stub. You have to put it in the raffle, and you may stand a chance to win the shoe
on the
if
day
you
when
get,
if your name
if you get
gets
picked.
up.
And if your name gets picked up, you get it free, or you
No,
just have to
you
pay?
have to
pay.
pay.
You have to
Oh,
pay.
no. You still have to pay. You still have to pay. Nobody's getting it for free.
Oh, I love that. A leadership mistake that you taught, that has taught you to be more successful than you thought it was at that time.
A mistake.
Mistake that actually finally was more success. It taught you more success. Is it anything like that? No.
I think it could
think
be
it's
the
a
drop website thing.
No, but not only that. I think I can't pinpoint anything one. I think it's a lot of mistakes cumulatively have moved us towards a path of success where we are right now, and we are going to make many more mistakes, and I hope it pivots us furthermore. So it is not going to be, it's never going to be a straight line in your journey. You're going to move slightly, and then because you made a mistake, then you move here, and then it moves to another path, then you make a mistake, and then you move to another path. Hopefully just that doesn't come back again. We just
It doesn't boomerang. Any go-to apps that you have when y'all are not working? So what do you all enjoy? What is individual passion?
Oh, we both actually like watching a lot of OTT.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for us, that is our me time. So some good movie, some good content, or something
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
Netflix and chill
is something we.
So what's the latest that you guys are watching? Or you all have the same likes or different?
I mean, of course, we have a few different series, but we end up majority of the series we end up watching is together, and we're currently, as you said, I was rewatching Dexter.
I was watching Dexter for the first time, but I'm also simultaneously watching this anime called Demon Slayer.
Yes.
I was always
That's
into
my son's.
anime,
Yeah.
and Demon Slayer has like become huge,
Huge,
now.
huge.
So I wanted to understand what's the fuss all about, and it's actually good.
Yeah, well, I never understood that it's for children because my son has anime and anime the amount I've spent, and I thought it is so aggressive. You know, what is there for kids?
No, but it's not. It's not for children. You're
It's
right.
not,
it's not
but
for children.
it's for, you see the way
Yeah.
Indian kids are
Yeah.
consuming
Because-
anime,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
when we went to Japan, oh my, it was only for that.
Yeah.
So
we're
going
trying to
for
go to
Japan.
Japan in November with my nephews. They're like 10 years old. And
They
I
are-
don't think I'm going to spend much time with my own kid. I'm going to spend time with them because they're going to take me to all the
yeah,
anime
of
stores.
course. And you'll start talking in that language and
So how we started watching Demon Slayer is because they called him and said that, listen, Chachu, before we go to Japan,
You have to
please
be-
finish watching all the seasons because there's a movie coming out.
And I ended up watching all of them and they're still on the second season. I'm like, dude, catch up.
And the books, if you see, it opens ulta. I don't know
Yeah.
what that, the whole manga series or
Yeah,
whatever.
mangas.
series,
Yeah, that is like, spend a lot of money for it.
But yeah, you've always been into that.
Yeah, I've been into anime. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z back in the day. That was my favorite. Now I'm watching all of these Demon Slayers. and everything.
So any trend in fashion or sneakers you think has been overrated? Since you guys are sneaker guys. and
Chunky shoes.
Chunky shoes.
Chunky shoes, very overrated. Who wears those clown shoes? I never understood it.
Clown shoes.
I'm sorry.
But I'm with you. I mean, I never get all those.
You're wobbling around and you're uncomfortable. It's definitely not comfortable. It doesn't look comfortable. I only can imagine how comfortable it would be to wear throughout the
And
day.
sneakers are supposed to be, first promise should be comfort. You know, what are you doing?
Absolutely. Again, purist. So
Yeah.
comfort comes
I'm
first.
with you. Any compliment from the customer that you'll always remember?
Oh.
I remember only one. That this was back in 2019. Someone approached me in the Mumbai store. I was just one regular day on a weekday afternoon, and someone noticed me and said, "Hey, are you Sangeet?" I'm like, "Yeah." And at that point in time, of course, just 1 year into Superkicks, nobody knows me, and I was never public facing. We were both never. She was more public facing than me.
But
And
not
still,
for the, like, in general, like,
Because
Yeah.
of his
Yeah,
Sangeets
yeah.
and all
And
this.
then this guy must have happened. He must have read an article or around Superkicks opening, and then must have googled who the founder is. And then, hey, are you Sangeet? And I'm like, yeah. And then he said, dude, I have to thank you. I'm like, why? What happened? Like, because of you, I got my first Jordan pair in my life, and I thank it to you and Superkicks. I think that is the first compliment I ever got in my life, I guess. I don't think my parents have ever complimented me.
what a lie.
I don't know. We started Superkicks. Yeah, we are doing decently well. My dad has never directly complimented me. Indirectly a lot because I know his ways of
You feel like बहुत rejection हुआ है
हाँ, rejection. एक तो rejection बहुत हो रहा है. तो यार ये सुनने में finally.
नहीं, touchwood ऐसा काफी हुआ उसके बाद. Like, in general, like, people came to our store to thank for their firsts.
Their
Like
first
their first sneaker, a
sneakers.
first Jordan, a first Yeezy. So they all have their stories to tell, and it's so nice to hear that we are the ones.
I hope you're capturing that. Customer testimonial is a big deal. Don't put your money, just get your customer, get your stories, put it out there.
I
the
think,
pure, that's again believability.
Yeah.
It's coming from it's somebody like me, I can relate to. Big one. You don't need anything else. You
No,
guys
we
are-
do that. We do that very
So
sparingly,
I
but
think
we
that
do
happens when, like, as I said, like, people like Eric and
Yeah, when we feature
Yeah,
them, we
when
do
we
collaboration. Like Eric D'Souza, he has this tattoo parlor called Iron Buzz in Bandra. Very cool guy. Bandra born guy. When we started this new store, I called him during the construction phase that I want to paint a mural on one of the walls.
the current store.
And dude, this guy said in 2 minutes, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to charge you for anything. Just get me the supplies. I'll get it done. And I'm like, dude. And that comes with pure love,
Pure love,
sheer
yeah.
And
love
so
for each
they
other
are
and
the
what we're
firsts
doing.
who've come to us,
Who've
right? So that is what I'm saying, that
No, but
Touchwood-
if you make this as this is a marketer and me saying, every guy who's coming to you and buying maybe it's your first story, you don't know, but if you capture that moment more and more and publish it, you'll see the virality. You don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are your go-to and they are the guys who will bring.
And you're right, because and we can do this now more than ever with the new store, because there's more space to capture these moments. In the smaller store, maybe, and you have a larger team.
If Superkicks had a motto for the future, what it would be? Does it have anything right now? Any positioning motto?
We have this thing that we say that we are here for the kicks. And in this case, kicks does not necessarily mean sneakers anymore. It's the high that you get for the process. Like if you're trying to achieve something, that right tune for the song, to the right recipe for your food. Or the right sort of anything, like for any profession within which you're passionate about. There's a process that you go through, and when you're about to crack something or you're in that process, you get that some kind of a surreal high, and we want to be the reason to celebrate that. That's how we're positioning ourselves now. We celebrate the people behind the scenes.
Amazing.
So and we do that a lot around music first, because we have now music is a very big part of our culture.
True.
In Superkicks, and we do the series called Cosign. Cosign, you want to talk about a little bit?
Yeah, so Cosign is an IP we recently started like a year ago, where we are featuring up and coming indie music artists, and basically we're giving them a platform to maybe release their new track, talk about themselves and promote them. So some music is something that we're gonna be following through
more and more.
So we also, as an extension to that, we have listening sessions in our store. We're planning a little bit of concert featuring all our Cosign artists. So these things are there in the pipeline. So we want to stick by music and musicians.
Our motto is just championing the people behind the scene.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
If you all were not doing Superkicks, what would you guys be doing currently? Any other
I
alternate?
wanted to always open a cafe along with my dancing. So hopefully I would have my,
Cafe?
corner cafe with coffee and bakes is something I always imagined myself doing. And I think we're fulfilling that a little bit because we have a small cafe in our
your store?
Yeah.
In our Mumbai store.
Mumbai store. So that is a little extension of what I had in mind.
Sangeet, for you? If you would have...
I mean, hopefully anything but going to Bhilwara and Jhunjhunu and selling shoes
I thought
there.
it was a screenplay.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried, and I'm a lot more patient as a person now, and the patience as a virtue has come in now,
Yeah, I
settled
think
in,
age-
especially
age-
after
age
age and
and-
having a kid.
Father, yes.
So maybe I don't know. You need more time though for that.
So I think he's very good at directing as well. So if some of our campaigns when he's all like charged
you are a
up.
scriptwriter.
Yeah,
and
so
the whole
he scriptwrites
storytelling.
and there's a direction also going on. It's fun to see that element in it. So I feel that's fun.
Lovely. I love that. So on that super exciting note, thank you so much once again for being here, and more power to you guys. Yeah, let's rock.
Thank you so much for having us. I think this has been a very, very nice and insightful podcast for us. And I would like to learn more from you.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Let's be connected.
The right kind of questions,
Absolutely.
the right kind
Absolutely.
of, like, I think it's been a lot of fun.
It was a wonderful
Yeah.
session.
Thank you so much. But I really enjoy it because for me, when I see all you young guys and the kind of work you all do and my experience, if I can blend it, gives me a high. You gave me a super kick today.
Nice. Good one. Good plug.
Good plug.